Hello friends. In this video, we are going to see this tricky interview question, which is flattening this object and convert it into a string, something like this. Okay, so we can see this is something similar to query params, where the key value pairs will be there, and these key value pairs will be separated by ampersand, right? So this looks simple, but the tricky part here is we have a key and a value. So if the value is direct number or a string, we can just convert it into a key value pair. But if it is a nested object, then we have to append dot in between, right? So c dot d dot e, the value is going to be 5. Same way we have c dot d dot f, which is going to be 6, right? So we have to define this path here to construct this result string. Okay, and also we have an array which is going to become comma separated values. So when we convert an array into string, it will directly get converted into comma separated values. Okay, all right. If you are preparing for interview, you can follow me on LinkedIn. So you can search for CV Vikash, and also give a like to this video if it is helpful, and share with your friends, and subscribe to this channel to support and get more content like this. Okay, so first I'll create a function. So I'm creating a recursive function. So I gave it short name REC. I will call this method. It's going to take an argument which is an object, and I'll pass obj1 here. This is a variable name, so I'm passing it here. So first let's see whether we are getting this obj. Of course we will get, right? So it is going to have all the key value pairs. Okay, so to get all the keys, we have two ways. One is object dot keys. We can pass an object, okay, and it's going to create array of keys. Okay, or we can use for let key in object, and is going to give all the keys separately, right? So let's stick with this approach. I'll just remove this. Okay, so we have this key. With this key, how we can get the value, right? So we just have the key, how to get the value. So what we can do is we have this key, and we can give the obj of key, right? The object's key we are trying to access. So it will give the value. So here you can see a equal to 1, b equal to 2, and c is something object, and j becomes 1 comma 2 comma 3. So with this given input, we can identify that if it is a primitive value, which is 1 or 2, it is directly consoled without any issues. If it is a nested object, we have some issue, so it is converted into object. And if it is an array, when we convert into a string, it becomes comma separated value, right? But we already solved half of the problem. So you can see here a equal to 1, b equal to 2, and j equal to 1 to 3, right? So here we have the same thing, right? J equal to 1 to 3. But we have some issue with this c, right? So when there is an object, we have to handle it separately, right? There is a special scenario we have to handle. Okay, so to handle that, what I'll do is, if, okay, I'm going to check. So first let me assign this value into a variable, const value equal to, okay, okay. So if type of value, if it is an object, okay, so the arrays type also will be object. So we have to check if it is not array and object, right? So if it is not array, okay, so the type should be object and it should not be an array, then we are going to handle this special case, right? Or else we are just going to console. Okay, so now we can see we are ignoring the C, and other than that we have this primitive values and array which is printed here. Okay, So to create an answer, I'm going to use answer array. Okay, so whenever we have something like this, we can directly push it. Okay, answer dot push. Okay, we'll just give this string over here. Okay, so we can console.log answer. Okay, and also we can use join method to create the desired output, right? So it is now separated with ampersand, and also we have key value pairs, right? So here we need to handle object, right? Handle object case. Okay, to solve this issue, we are going to use a recursive function. So we are going to call this recursive method again here. Okay, and now this is an object, right? So the key is C, and this is an object. So we can directly pass this object, okay, inside this array again. Again, it will go through all the keys, right? So we are assigning this value, right? So the value is going to contain the actual object, right? So we can just console and check console.log value, right? So we have this D, and we are recursively calling, and we are reaching to E and F, and then again it will check the value. So it will go through one by one, like E and F, all the keys this for loop will go through, and then we'll get 5 and 6, it will reach here. Okay, so here you can see E and F is coming, right? But we need the previous string, so we need to track the C and D. How we can do that? So we handle this kind of same scenario in flat an array with depth. Okay, so we have to pass some value in every recursive call so that the previous value will be tracked. Okay, so how we can pass that? So we are going to add one more parameter, which is prepend. Okay, the default value will be empty string. So every time when we are calling this recursive method, we are going to call, okay, prepend plus the key. Okay, so we are going to use this. And also when we are adding this value, if there is any prepend value, we are going to add. Okay, so here you can see C, D and E we got. Okay, so you can visualize what is happening here. So first we are passing prepend as empty string, right? In first iteration this will be empty string. So if there is a key and the type is object, then what happens? The key, which is C, right, that will be appended with this empty string, and this will enter again here inside. So now in first iteration it will be C, right? The prepend string will be C, and again we are going through each key. So here we'll get D, right? So D is the key, and then again it will enter here. The prepend is already C. Now we are going to add D here, and this will enter here again next time. Now we have C and D. Okay, and again we'll be going through each keys, which is E and F, and here we have the key which is E, and the prepend string is C and D right now, right? So that will be added. C, D and E is added here. Okay, so whenever we reach this primitive values, we are going to reach else condition, or else we'll be recursively calling this method. Okay, okay, so now only part is we have to add dot between C, D and E. Okay, so for that what we can do is we can just add dot, and also here we have to add, okay, and it is going to add dot in the beginning also, right? So whenever there is a prepend string, we are always trying to add dot. So we have to handle this also. So when the prepend is empty string, we should not add the dot. Okay, So if the prepend is empty, then it is going to be empty string, or it is going to add dot plus the key. Okay, sorry, dot plus the prepend string. Okay, so with this we actually handled this scenario, right? So there is no dot before a right now, and we can do the same trick. Okay, instead of this we can just replace with this, okay, to get c dot d dot e, right? So now you can compare this output, which is same as expected. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more such videos.